Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Wednesday, September 1. Classes for the new school year will begin online starting Monday, September 6. In confirming the date, Education Minister Favour Williams has reiterated that face-to-face learning remains suspended until high schools reach a 65% vaccination rate or higher. She gave the update on Tuesday during a virtual parents' town hall on vaccination.
Our objective in the education system is to get our students back in the face-to-face mode as quickly and as safely as we can. Obviously, we have to be guided by the Ministry of Health and Wellness. And while we're waiting, our children will still have access to education via the online mode, via our learning kit, and via the audiovisual platforms that we have.
Minister Williams says about 28,000 children aged 12 to 18 years have received the first dose of the Pfizer vaccine. She's reiterating the call for all education stakeholders to take the COVID-19 vaccine. This includes parents, their children, teachers, and school administrators.
Whether you are the security guard at the gate who helps to take temperature and give some sanitization, whether you are the groundsman, whether you are the maintenance person, the cook, administrator, in whatever office that you work, we're also imploring those persons who work within the education sector to be vaccinated.
Over 1,200 tourism workers were inoculated on day one of a series of vaccination blitz events targeting industry players. The blitz began on Monday at the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel in Kingston and will continue Thursday in Negril and on Friday in Ocho Rios. Vaccination sites for Montego Bay, Port Antonio, and the South Coast will be determined later. Future vaccination activities are also being planned for Emancipation Park in Kingston, Harmony Beach Park, Montego Bay, the Falmouth Cruise Ship Pier, Treasure Beach, St. Elizabeth, and the Port Antonio Cruise Ship Pier. This intervention is one of the outcomes of the newly formed Tourism Vaccination Task Force. The group is targeting the inoculation of 170,000 workers in the tourism industry. Target groups include workers in hotels, villas, and guest houses, attractions, airports, cruise ports, craft markets, and ground transportation operators. Vaccinations are being accommodated by the Ministries of Health and Local Government and the Private Sector Vaccine Initiative. $169 million has been set aside to improve road infrastructure in central Manchester. The funds were pledged during a recent visit to the area by Minister without Portfolio in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, Everald Warmington.
We listen to the call and the cries of people. Plus, I made it clear before that any community can make representation to this member of parliament. Not only do I entertain requests from members of parliament, I made it clear all along that any community can write to this member, get a petition from your community and advisement of the situation, which is the best we can do.
From the $169 million allocation, $60 million will be spent on road repairs for Williamsfield to Cumberland, Royal Flat to Old England, and Mandeville to Rudd's Corner. $80 million will be spent to improve traffic management in and around the town of Mandeville. This will include installation of traffic lights and the conversion of Manchester Road to two-way traffic. Phase 2 of a drainage improvement project for Mandeville worth $29 million will soon be completed as well. In addition to setting aside funds for road patching, Minister Warmington says the National Works Agency will be collaborating with the Member of Parliament for Central Manchester to identify other priority areas. 10 women business owners will receive financial and business development support to scale up their operations. It's part of the Women in Entrepreneurship Support WES project, Phase 2. Approximately $1.14 million is being provided by United Nations UN Women, and each participant will receive $100,000 towards business development activities. Beneficiaries will get access to a suite of business development services, including training. This is expected to help them build capacity, attract investment opportunities, and increase market share and revenue. It also seeks to facilitate the integration of these small and medium-sized enterprises into the national, regional, and global value chains. Training and technical support is being provided by the Jamaica Business Development Corporation, JBDC.
The WES project was developed to empower female entrepreneurs so that they have economically viable and sustainable businesses.
Phase 2 will focus on building on the gains of the previous phase by providing technical assistance and financial support to 20 women entrepreneurs per annum for the next 5 years.
The project, which started in 2018, is being implemented jointly by the Gender and Commerce Ministries through the Bureau of Gender Affairs. Nominations are now open for the 2021 Prime Minister's National Youth Awards for Excellence. Applications are being accepted between August 30 and September 24. Information Minister Favour Williams says this year's nomination process was opened earlier to facilitate greater reach and diversity of applicants. The award ceremony is normally held in Youth Month, which is celebrated annually in November.
This signifies a more intense and robust approach to strengthening the sensitization around the Prime Minister's National Youth Award for Excellence. Additionally, a greater emphasis on the promotion of underrepresented nomination categories, such as environmental protection.
The Prime Minister's National Youth Awards for Excellence is open to all Jamaican nationals between 15 and 29 years old who are living in Jamaica or the diaspora. Interested persons may visit youthjamaica.com to download the award criteria and application forms and submit them to pmyouthawardsja@gmail.com. For further information, call 876-922-1400, extension 6126 or 6141. And finally, the National Environment and Planning Agency, NEPA, says COVID-19 guidelines have been established to ensure the safe staging of the 2021 game bird hunting season. The protocols are in line with measures set out by the Ministry of Health and Wellness. The game bird hunting season runs from August 21 to September 26, with hunting sessions starting at sunrise to 9 a.m. and 2:30 p.m. to sunset on Saturdays and sunrise to 9 a.m. on Sundays. Only the pea-dove, white-winged dove, bald-pate, and mourning dove are to be hunted. The overall bag limit per hunting season is 20 birds, with no more than 15 being white-crowned pigeons. Hunting is prohibited within game reserves or sanctuaries, forest reserves, the Blue and Jonkro Mountains National Park, and within 50 meters of their boundaries. Persons wishing to participate in the season must obtain a hunting license from NEPA's 10 Caledonia Avenue office or any authorized vendor. All applicants must have a valid firearm license or user's permit for a shotgun and a tax registration number to access a hunter's license. Hunters are reminded that hunting reports not completed and returned by December 31 of the same year of the season will attract a late processing fee of $5,000 before a hunter's license for the 2021 hunting season is granted. Additional information on the 2021 game bird hunting season may be garnered by calling 876-754-7540, extension 3602, or 888-991-500. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.